Raw on Netflix is still going strong, people. We got an amazing main event between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, plus the return of Roman Reigns, who wasn't too happy about CM Punk and Paul Heyman's relationship.
Paul Heyman is mine!
But let's be real for a second, WWE lied to us. They catfished us. Remember them saying we're getting less censored content? Really, you're gonna censor a middle finger? It's a finger. It's not like Seth Rollins was spinning his schmeckle around on television. We're just a week away from John Cena's Raw appearance, but WWE wasn't playing around in Madison Square Garden. CM Punk simply doesn't miss. Literally every match so far we've seen in the WWE was an absolute banger. And I think at this point it's pretty clear we're getting that triple threat match at WrestleMania. People to support lately was absolutely unbelievable, so I wanna thank y'all, but I also wanna give someone the attention that was ordered. Okay, wait, let me get your misogynistic ass correct. So because Tamina was in a match in the 2K Showcase mode, that mode was bad? Yes. Definitely. Along with many other reasons. Can I still make jokes right here? Can I make a joke without somebody coming up with some crazy ass reach? We have people right now trying to summarize my entire personality over me not liking a 2K Showcase ladder match with Tamina! Anyway, Raw was good, and the show kicks off with Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. Austin Theory was watching the match, and it was kinda mid. You know, who honestly gives a shit? I don't think WWE are doing a really good job with this Gunther versus Jey Uso storyline. At points it got me interested, but they're slowly losing me again. Jey Uso wins the match as expected, and he got attacked by Austin Theory. He got the upper hand until we saw Gunther choking him out, and Gunther stands tall. It's getting really repetitive each week, and the story is not getting any new layers. We get the point. Gunther respects tradition. He takes this business seriously. Jey Uso is goofing around. Gunther finds it annoying, and he's the big giant man, and Jey Uso is the underdog. Literally the exact same story we saw previous year with Sami Zayn and Gunther. At this point, I feel like we need something new because the story is basically the same. It's the same since before he won the Royal Rumble match. Then we saw Logan Paul. Great heel ripped off Plant's t-shirt. Obviously that fan was planted. Paul compares himself to The Rock and John Cena, saying he'll do anything to get to the top. He said his soul is ready to be sold to Dwayne Johnson. When you really think about it, it almost makes sense. John Cena is an actor, Dwayne Johnson is an actor, all about Hollywood. Logan Paul is pretty close to that. Not saying I necessarily want that, I'm just saying wouldn't be too shocked. He criticizes Cody Rhodes for rejecting The Rock's offer. Then Logan Paul brings in Andrew Schultz, but Andrew mocks him, saying, I didn't come to see you, I came to see the main event, the steel cage match, and honestly, AJ Styles. I care about real wrestlers. So Paul tried to attack him, but we got AJ Styles with the save, phenomenal forearm, pretty good moment. It's pretty clear right now, as expected, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I'm saying many people saying it should have been Braun Breaker and this is not a big match. It does hurt me giving compliments to Logan Paul because he's an absolute douchebag, but I'm being real. He's really good at this, and people, I think, are still pretty unaware on how many eyes he brings to the product, so it's a pretty big match for AJ Styles. Andrew did a really good job in this one. There's only one thing you really need to do to make wrestling fans respect you, and that's to show the same respect to professional wrestling. So he was really respectful, he took it seriously, he absolutely nailed it. Let's just hope he's not gonna align himself with Dwayne Johnson and John Cena and be in the main event of WrestleMania. WWE using celebrities is something we're gonna have to get used to. It makes sense, but it also doesn't mean they have to take over the biggest storylines, right? We got the New Day versus LWO in a tornado tag team match. It's been a while since we saw one of these. Obviously this was a big show, 20,000 people in attendance, or at least that's what WWE told us. It felt more like Saturday night's main event than the actual Raw episode, so really enjoyed this one, and somebody in a mask attacked Rey Mysterio. I wonder who could that possibly be? The New Day wins the match, and Chad Gable got accused of being the masked person because he's wearing the same clothes. And I think he said thank you in a different language. It's obviously Chad Gable. No, it's not, people. The actual attacker got taken out by the security. Obviously now the speculations are going wild. Who could that possibly be? And I think I nailed it. I looked at the physique, I looked at the height. I think it's the Big Show. No, but seriously, someone got set up. If this is gonna be a long-term thing, it's giving me Hogan vibes when he was Mr. America, or SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 when Jack Swagger was wearing a mask and he was like, Todd, and he was acting like a different person even though he looks exactly the same. It's pretty goofy in a way, but at this point with Chad Gable's booking, I'm just like, give this man a WrestleMania match, whatever it may be at this point. You know, again, I hate the fact that he's still doing the comedy shtick. We thought after the heel turn he's gonna still have that comedic side, but have a bit of a more serious vibe. Get this man a WrestleMania match. He earned it. Dominic Mysterio secures Balor an Intercontinental Championship match against Braun Breaker next week, and Balor hugs Mysterio. I thought he's gonna pull up with that John Cena face, which is maybe, possibly a hint. Maybe the Judgment Day is going to crumble. Next week's episode of Raw is a big one, people. I wouldn't be shocked if more big moments are going to happen since the episode is going to have a lot of eyes on it. And in my country, I believe it's gonna start at 9 or 10 p.m., which is an absolute dream. Never watched an episode of Raw that early. It's mostly like at 2 or 3 a.m. Then we saw Cody with a great promo. He talked about John Cena. He acknowledges Madison Square Garden as WWE's home base and criticizes Cena for not being there. Rhodes mocks Cena's inner circle, mentioning Travis Scott and The Rock. If Travis Scott legitimately got Cody Rhodes injured and he was the one who gave him the black eye, I hope the receipt is coming. He calls out Cena for attacking him low and using backup. Rhodes admits a part-time Cena is still better than some full-time wrestlers, but takes issue with Cena's motivational post. Yeah, Cena is still doing these on Twitter. It's like if nothing ever happened. Also, that part-time Cena line is a great callback to his promo against Roman Reigns, where basically Cena said, I can do this better part-time than you could ever do it full-time or something along those lines. He calls Cena a moron, which again, almost got censored. For a split second, millisecond, the audio went out. I'm really digging these Netflix episodes of Raw, but like, it's almost as if the censorship got even worse. Cody calls him delusional because that 17 is never going to happen. I'm the captain now, which is basically saying I'm the face of the company now. Your time is up, my time is now. I wish he said that. Why didn't he say that? Very good promo again. You knew John Cena is not gonna appear, so obviously wasn't that big of a deal. The next episode of Raw is the one to watch. Now, like I've said, I'm not gonna be angry if Cody retains the WWE Championship, but in my opinion, John Cena should win that championship. He needs to break that record. One of the weirdest comments I got is somebody saying Cena has nothing to gain. The entire storyline is built around him gaining the 17th championship, breaking one of the biggest records you could. I think he has something to gain. We got Women's IC Championship #1 contenders match between Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez. The match was actually pretty fine, but I'm not sure what WWE have planned for Bayley or what they're doing with her in general because she lost the match. Which is kind of crazy because Bayley being in that match sounds a lot more interesting. So, weird decision. This segment was kinda wild. Michael Cole interviews the new world champion Io Sky. Who got a big pop, you deserve a chance, and she absolutely does. Bianca congratulates Sky, but seems less enthusiastic than usual. Then we saw Rhea Ripley, and they stopped focusing on Io Sky. They pushed her, which was really hilarious in a way. Really reminds me of this segment. Basically not taking Io Sky seriously. Like it was a fluke, she doesn't deserve to be a champion, the real match is Rhea versus Bianca Belair. So Io Sky physically told them, you should probably pay more attention to me. She refused to be overlooked. Now, obviously this is going to be a triple threat match. I mean, Rhea Ripley is very involved, and I really hope that Io Sky is going to retain that championship. Basically the story being, Rhea and Bianca treat each other like a threat, and they don't really even think about Io, but Io ends up actually winning the match. Finally, people, we got Seth Rollins versus CM Punk inside the steel cage. Honestly, over the years, my love for the steel cage matches went away. A lot of times it seems very, very repetitive, but what I like about CM Punk in the WWE right now, especially since he came back, is the creativity. Maybe he's not even the one responsible for all the spots, but from what I'm seeing, every match with CM Punk in it, even on Raw, has some really creative spots in it, so I really, really enjoyed this match. And to be honest, I didn't even think about the finish. I almost forgot this is happening in Madison Square Garden, so we're probably going to get some big moment. Really enjoyed this one. Now, obviously, one of the biggest complaints people are going to have, which I kinda agree, is that we got a lot of finishers. So many false finishes. Excuse I could make is that this is not your typical rivalry. they refuse to stay down. I guess there's a difference between this match having so many false finishes, so many finishers, and then something like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, where basically the entire match is just that. Whatever the case may be, all I'm trying to tell you, one of the best matches I've seen on Raw lately. All of a sudden, Seth Rollins gets attacked by Roman Reigns, who in my opinion is clearly the babyface in this story. I know technically they're all babyfaces, but when you actually look at the storyline, in my opinion at least, everybody has these big egos, but I believe Seth Rollins is the most unreasonable one. So Roman Reigns finally got his revenge, and then he saw Paul Heyman and CM Punk being really friendly. He didn't appreciate that. He attacks CM Punk, spears him, and the show ends with Roman Reigns standing tall, basically confirming the triple threat match at WrestleMania. The only question is, will the match actually mean anything? It doesn't have to. Obviously, this is an absolute dream match, but I wonder if this is gonna play part in anything with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I wouldn't be too angry if the winner is getting that championship opportunity. I mean, the whole point is CM Punk wants a title match. Maybe by winning this match, he gets that opportunity again. On the other hand, how do you make sense of that in kayfabe? How do they get that match? I don't know. And one of the most interesting things about the storyline is that Paul Heyman has a very big decision to make. But that was your episode of Raw, people. Very good. Seems like next week's episode is not gonna be any worse. Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate your support, great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.